Alrighty, watch fans, time for another Hotness pick, and how about something, I don't know, a little unique maybe, as in UNIQ watches, a brand you may not heard of. They are out of, the designer anyway, out of Tbilisi, Georgia. And no, y'all, I'm not talking about the Georgia peach, Georgia as in the country. So a great opportunity here. So right at the beginning of the video, I'm going to dive more into the brand and the design elements and all that. I just want to run through the three options that are available for you. So what you are seeing on the screen right now is probably going to be the most militaristic look. Obviously, it is a military-inspired pilot-style timepiece. This is going to be done in what I would refer to as the OD green, referring to the dial. Now, each one of these watches is going to ship on the distressed pilot-style leather strap. We'll get into that more in detail in the video review after we take a look at all three. And each one is also going to come with a 5-ring, and I'm going to just drop this in so you can see what we're talking about there. There you can see some of the rings. Zulu style strap, not NATO, but Zulu. Yes, there is a difference. Each one is going to be color coordinated to the dial. So this is going to be the most militaristic look that you've got going on. Just very quickly, for those of you that only watch the beginning of the videos, 47 millimeter case diameter measured this way, 12.5 millimeters in thickness, 22 millimeter wide strap, sapphire, hello, sapphire crystal with AR or anti-reflective coating done on the back side of the crystal. Super Luminova on your hands and on your hour markers. It is, and I hope you notice this down here at the 6 o'clock position, two words you like to see on at least some of your timepieces: Swiss made. It is the Ronda 5040D chronograph that is inside of this. It is obviously, since a Swiss-made timepiece, a Swiss-made movement. So you are getting the 13-jeweled dore or gold-plated Swiss version of the Ronda 5040D, not the Swiss parts version. So that is going to be option number one. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, so for our next option, let me get a little bit of that glare off of there. There we go. Is going to be your classic black in the dial. I think it's a little bit more charcoal, at least if you'll notice. The main dial is done in a charcoal black with a different darker color that had been done on the three subdials of this Swiss-made Ronda chronograph movement that is inside of this particular timepiece. Again, do note the Swiss made. We'll dive into all the particulars after I show you all three colors. Again, this will come with the black Zulu 5-ring strap that's been done on there, and then of course this distressed leather strap, which we'll dive into a little bit further in a moment. And let's take a look at the third option. All right then, and here is the third and final option of the UNIQ P-47 Thunderbird timepiece, this time done in the blue, but much like the black, please notice a two-tone shade that has been done on the dial. So the main outer dial is a lighter, very unique shade of blue. I actually kind of like that, and I'm not usually a fan of blue in my timepieces. And then you'll see the subdials of the Ronda chronograph being done in a slightly darker color. And then once again, it is on the distressed looking leather pilot style strap, which is about 4 millimeters, just under 4 millimeters in thickness, and then also the 5-ring Zulu style strap. Not NATO, but Zulu, 5-ring, not 3-ring. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and use this particular timepiece to really dive in for just a couple of minutes here on the watch itself. Now, as I said, the watch is designed by a gentleman, and boy, if I try to pronounce a name, I'm really going to disrespect him and just absolutely butcher it. But Tbilisi, Georgia, over in Europe. The gentleman is an industrial and transportation designer. He's done some really cool stuff, which is the design of the box as well. We'll get into that towards the end of the video. But he decided to move into watch designs, and he really drops him either into one of three categories. And it's motor transport, aviation, and Navy. Now, obviously, the P-47 Thunderbird that you're looking at here is going to be a aviation style timepiece, pilot style timepiece, going back to World War II era timepiece. Now, as we said, 47 millimeters, and for those of you that are new, and I know we've picked up a lot of new folks to this, so I'm just going to run that way. You want to measure this a timepiece when you hear the diameter this way or this way. Either is appropriate, not necessarily so much this way. Okay, so 47 millimeters, and obviously, why did he make it 47 millimeters? Well, P-47 Thunderbird. So you've got that going on. Now, it is a very large dial opening, so from a design aspect, when you have a minimalistic design, visually this makes the watch play a little bit larger on the wrist because of that very large dial opening. So a very minimalistic fixed bezel, by the way. And a large dial opening really is also going to play into a pilot style timepiece, because one of the things that you want to look at is a very easy to read at a glance, especially back in World War II era timepieces, because they didn't have autopilot. They didn't take off, punch a button, and then the plane flew itself. They had the hand on the stick. They were working the controls. So you've got that going for you. Swiss made, we mentioned that before. Notice at the 6 o'clock position, Swiss made. The timepiece is Swiss made. Part of that means you must have a Swiss movement, which is the Ronda 5040D split time quartz chronograph that is inside of that. If you have not seen before the Ronda, basically this chronograph works like a stopwatch. That's really all it is. This top button here will stop and start it. So for instance, if I jump in here, now what you'll see is what's called the fast runner right here, which is measuring off 1 second full rotation in tenths of a second. Now, it will stop that later on. As you'll see here, I'll let it run for 30 seconds or so, and then you'll see it stop. It is still internally timing, and when you stop it, it will jump to the appropriate position. Okay, and it's coming up here in just a second, and then you will see it stop, like so. Okay, that is a battery saving option that takes place here. In addition to that, you've got your 30-minute timer. Now you may be looking at that and going, Mike, they screwed up the dial, what's up? No, it's not screwed up. The designer did this on purpose to mimic, and actually all the subdials are done to mimic controls on the original P-47 aircraft. This in particular, because of the offset, matches the altimeter that was utilized in the P-47. So don't think you've got that. Now, I just stop the chronograph this way, and then I'm just going to reach in and press that. Everything resets back to 0. You are good to go. You heard that? That is going to be a sapphire crystal. Not mineral crystal, but sapphire. I know a lot of you guys like the sapphire aspect of that. That is what you're getting with this timepiece. Anti-reflective coating done on the underside of the crystal to protect it. The AR coating effectively filters and takes care of the blue spectrum of light to make sure it is going to be visible for you. Super Luminova used throughout when it comes to paint or paste type luminescent material for timepieces in particular. Super Luminova is the way to glow. Glow, no pun. But what you'll see is the very easy or large style hands, which are kind of covered up at the moment, sorry about that, as well as your markers. I've got some images both above and below where you're watching this video where you can see some of the luminescent properties of this Super Luminova. Now obviously Oh, before I move on, you are getting the Swiss version of the movement, and why is that important? Many companies, Ronda included, when it comes especially to quartz, has a Swiss version and a Swiss parts version. Swiss parts is assembled usually in an Asian market, or Asian country, I should say. The Swiss version is the jeweled version. This is a 13 jewel movement, which is very highly jeweled for a quartz movement, and it is also what is referred to as the dore movement, D-O-R-E, which is the gold-plated version of the movement as well. So you are getting that as an upgrade with that Swiss-made designation that is taking place here. Now, 316L stainless steel configuration used on this. It is a numbered limited edition timepiece. Only 100 in each of the dial colors is being made for these timepieces. As a matter of fact, I think if you go to the UNIQ Watches website, you will see that the P-47 is sold out. My buddy, Craig Hester with Russia2all.com is the American distributor for this brand, and he has, I believe, the remaining quantities on these, which are going to be very limited. So keep that in mind as you're making your purchasing decision. Now, we talked about the numbered limited edition status. I'm just going to turn this around, and hopefully you can see this, which is the plaque that has been inset into the 9 o'clock side of the timepiece, which gives you your numbered limited edition timepiece. It will show you what number yours is out of the ones that you have. Now, if I turn this, since we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and come all the way back around here, because I want to show you this strap, and I'm going to show it to you off the stand as well, because there's some other things taking place here. You'll see kind of a distressed leather strap, 22 millimeters wide, okay, a little less than 4 millimeters in thickness. Very supple. Now, it's a thick strap, but very supple. They did a great job on this strap. This is not going to be one of those very stiff straps that are very difficult to wear and take several days to break in and be comfortable on the wrist. Out of the box wearability on this timepiece. Virtually no break-in whatsoever. Now, in holding to the design, the World War II era design of this timepiece, you will see the rivets that have been done on this. There's a matching set on the other side. The steel rivets into the strap as well. You'll see the white contrast stitching that has been done on here. It is beautiful. We will show you the back side of the strap, and I'll explain why that is important in just a moment. So overall, a great looking timepiece, and when you start adding up limited edition, and by the way, if you are new to timepieces and you don't know what we're talking about, you take the brand Omega, or as James Bond would say, Omega, and you look at the Bond watches that they do in conjunction with the movie, 10,007. And obviously it's a play there, you know, on the 007. But 10,007 of those watches they produced as a numbered limited edition. And it's a great watch. I'm not knocking it. And folks are very happy to have theirs. The one you're looking at here is 100 in that dial color, not 10,007 in that dial color. The costs very much go through the roof to produce when you get into, you know, the hundreds and, you know, below 100, you know, 200 timepieces. So obviously that goes up as well. Now, in particular, just to hit this again, because I'm going to take this off the stand, run through a couple of other aspects of this timepiece for you. Numbered limited edition of only 100 per dial, Swiss-made movement, Swiss-made 13 jewel chronograph from Ronda that many of you are familiar with, sapphire crystal that's been done on this, utilizing super luminova. It comes with both the distressed leather strap that you see, as well as a 5-ring Zulu strap to go with that. Some very cool packaging, which I'll show you at the very end of the video as well. 5 ATM water resistance, about 12 and a half, 13 millimeters in overall case thickness, 316L stainless steel, 3 great colors to choose from, and it is, from a design aspect, very representative of its namesake, that being the P-47 Thunderbird aircraft, all the way down to the subdials. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop this off the stand and show you the case back and some other things that are going on with the strap that I think are kind of cool. Alright, so as I was talking about earlier, here is the timepiece. Notice the rivets that have been done on either side of the case that we were talking about on this strap. One of the things that's kind of cool as I move this over here is you've got a third rivet that has been done on the tongue style, side of the strap as well. That's something that you always see, and it's a nice little attention to detail piece that's been added to that. Notice the uniformity of the stitching, and if you've been with me for a while, either on television or on the Hotness picks, I very often talk about, oops, as I turn this over, the back side of the strap, and that's how you should look for quality. Notice all the uniformity in the stitching, straight line, it's the same size stitching all the way through there. The gaps in between the individual stitches are the same as well, and do keep in mind that is a 22 millimeter wide strap. As I, oops, sorry, turn this back over, you'll notice the kind of distressed nature of that, which I think is very cool and also very representative of this timepiece. Now, moving on, let me show you the case back. And it is a high mirror polish, so I apologize if you're getting some of the camera in there, but you'll see the P-47. Let me turn that a little bit, see if we can help that out somewhat. That's been done on this timepiece, as well as, I guess at that point would be the, because the Air Force hadn't been invented yet during World War II, would be the Army Air Corps insignia below that. Do keep in mind, you are getting the U for UNIQ that has been done on the crown as well. Now, as we move on to that, and just let me see if I can get this into the shot here. So you've got a I don't know if we can do that. There we go. There we go. 3 keeper system. So you've got one that's a floating keeper, also stitched. One's in place, that's the one at the other end. And then you have one of the military style rings that have been done on there as well. So a triple keeper system, not something you always see. Again, keep in mind this watch was designed by a guy who's a trained and professional designer. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Very much an oversized buckle on the strap, really like that as well. It is very comfortable on the wrist. And as I pop this out of the shot, just so I can turn this around, sorry about that, I referenced, as the camera is trying to focus here real quick, there we go, you will see the numbered limited edition status into 100, and I know I'm getting some glare on that, with the plate that has been designed into the side of the timepiece. Now there's a couple of other things, and I'm going to have to take this out of the shot, so bear with me because I know it's going to look a little junky there for a second, so just bear with me. Thank you very much. Many of you may have heard of the Red Dot Award. So I'm going to jump in there, show you this. This timepiece, for its packaging, which I'm going to show you in a minute, did win the 2014 Red Dot Award for their packaging. This is a card that will be included in your timepiece. As we turn it over, there is a QR code where you can check some other things out in regards to that, or use the website that you see right there, which is the owner and designer's design website. You can learn more about that, but I know many of you are familiar with the Red Dot Award. Now, what is that design that he won the award for? Again, sorry for going out of screen here, I just have to grab everything. It is going to be this packaging that has been done. Now there's images of this, and I'm just going to rotate it around. So what he did, And it is a sliding box, and this is how it's going to open up your watch, and that slot at the bottom is your extra strap. But it is designed as an ammo crate, so there you'll see the stencil style military packaging that's been done on there. The P-47 with the model number, I do believe, is what's right there. And then you'll notice, just like the military would do it, watch, wrist, general purpose, that's been done on that as well. When you look to, you know, the side of the timepiece, again, there is that P-47, and it is done on both sides. Yes, for those of you that can read upside down, that is upside down. So it's a great look that's on this. Now, as a bonus, and by the way, there is additional photographs of all the packaging and everything, again, above and below this video that you're viewing. A couple of bonuses that are going to come with this, compliments of Craig Hester at Russia2All.com. One is going to be a P-47 commemorative magazine. Nothing to send in, it will ship with your timepiece, and he is also going to throw in a leather P-47 custom flask. So nice little decorative aspect to go with that, and you know, hey, by the way, fully functional, just saying, use it however you deem necessary and appropriate. But it is a nice little addition. Those are two little bonuses that have been thrown in there as well. So for an under $350 price point, this is a great deal, especially when you remember only 100 made for the world in each dial color. They are almost completely gone, so very limited in numbers there. I've seen this watch go for anywhere from $500 to $600 usually, whether it has appeared on Shop HQ with Craig for significantly more. The UNIQ-watches.com website, it went for significantly more. So this is a lot of watch that you're getting for very little money. Anybody who's in the military, especially in the Air Force, is really going to like this. Anybody who was in the military, anybody who was or is a pilot, anybody, you know, who's interested in aviation, I mean, it goes on and on and on. But if you're looking for a great timepiece, this is the way to go. Thanks for taking a look. Pick this up, but remember, you've got to hurry. Very, very limited on all three of these dials. Thanks for taking a look. Appreciate your support of the Hotness Pick, and we'll be back next week.